Hey, good day, folks. Welcome, everybody, to another episode live from Jerusalem with Rabbi Chaim Goldberg. I so enjoyed last week's class. He really went into some details, especially the last couple of weeks, teaching us about planning, implementation, judgment, and conclusion that Hashem had intertwined into each and every day. But more than that, he keeps bringing out great and wonderful things for us B'nai Noach that we have never heard. It's been hidden treasure with the Hebrew people, and we're so honored that he takes the time to share with the remainder of the 70 nations. So, without any further ado, we got a great crowd in the Zoom room today from all around the planet. People I haven't saw in a while, and some wonderful regulars. So I'm not going to beleaguer this anymore. Rabbi Goldberg, you got the stage, sir. Always a joy to be with you and hear Torah.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening from Jerusalem, from Israel. Good to see you all. It's really amazing to see you all. And I understand also that we are live also on YouTube and on Facebook, right, Dan? Okay, great. Okay. So let's start. I hope that everything is okay. I think that the coronavirus and this wave we are managing, even though I've heard that in the South America it's very hard in those days. It's not so good, but in the rest of the world, I understand that it's more or less coming down a bit, the coronavirus, and we hope that we managed with this wave, and hopefully hopefully there won't be another wave, but if there will be, we will have already all the ways how to control this coronavirus. So let's dive inside. I will share the screen with the things that we have, so we can start learning. I want to, now we can see the screen, everything is okay. Let's move this a bit. Sorry, let's go back. I prepared a bit of, things. Let's say a few words that we spoke already before, that we mentioned in the last few weeks. First point that we said is that, let me see if I can do this, but it's okay. God is not in a fight or confrontation with the man he created. This is one of the most important things that I tried very much to show. Last week we also expressed with a few of the mythologies that we have. For example, how exactly man got the fire, or the thing that the man can fly and can see another dimension here. That we see that there is a very big difference, very big gap between the mythologies that they are saying that there is some sort of a fight or confrontation between God and man. And while the Hebrew nation is saying all the time, no. God basically, God created this world, and he is looking for a partner in his creation. The partner can't come from someone or from people who are only, doing things like robots. They're supposed to be with people who have free will, and this free will is something that they might also do some wrong things. If you really want to give a free will, the real free will is that it might be also that people might do wrong things. So for that, and for him, we said one of the things that we said, that we are spreading the history for three Persians of 2,000 years. The first 2,000 years until Abraham, the 2,000 years between Abraham and the exile of the Hebrew nation after they destroyed of the second temple, and the last 2,000 years since the destruction of the temple till today. Today, or another 200 years, more or less, this is concluding the last, for that, 2,000 years. So when we're speaking about the first 2,000 years, let's look, for example, in three places to see exactly the discussion that God is doing with men. Okay, we find it in few places. So let's start. First of all, in Genesis 3, 8 to 10. It's very simple. Let's read it back. Let's go to that Genesis 8, right? 3, sorry. Genesis 3, Let's go to those verses, and Dan, as usual, you're going to read it. Um, let's read first of all verse number. No. Let's read the right verses. It's 8 to 10. After Adam and Eve are eating from the forbidden tree. Okay. Then we're speaking about those three verses, 8 to 10. Please, Dan, read them.
Yes, sir. 8. And they heard the voice of the Lord God going in the garden to the direction of the sun, and the man and his wife hid from before the Lord in the midst of the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called to man, and he said to him, Where are you? And he said, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I am naked, so I hid.
So the first time that God is starting to try to speak with someone, with Adam and Eve, the answer of Adam is very simple. He is afraid. He doesn't know, he doesn't really know how to answer. Okay? Where are you? Here I am. No. He's not answering that. He's afraid. Okay? So let's go to the second time where God is speaking with someone. The second time is in Genesis 4. Twice we can see that, okay? In Genesis 4. Genesis 4, I will remind us all, because we are learning the Bible. We're not just saying things. Genesis 4 is the connection, not, if we will say Adam and Eve, their big mistake was that they undid something that was related between men and God. Then we're moving to the next generation, Cain and Abel, and then we need to do things in the proper manner, in the right way, between man and his fellowship. And twice, God is speaking with Cain. Okay, the first time is here in verse number 6 and verse number 7.
You want me to read it, Rabbi?
Yeah, please.
And the Lord said to Cain, Why are you annoyed, and why has your countenance fallen? Is it not so that if you improve, it will be forgiven you, and if you do not improve, however, at the entrance sin is lying, and to you it is longing, but you can rule over it.
Okay, so we're saying God is giving him some sort of a guidance. We spoke about this a few weeks ago, that we see that Cain is in a much higher level than Abel, and Cain is on the level of prophecy. God is speaking with him. We never saw that God spoke with Abel, and he's giving him the guidance what to do. But after that, we all know that Cain, he spoke with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. And then again, God is trying to speak with man, with Cain, and to ask him some sort of question. Let's start to discuss. Please read verse number 9. And
Verse 9 says, And the Lord said to Cain, Where is Abel, your brother? And he said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?
And he said, and please read verse number 10 also.
And he said, What have you done? Hark, your brother's blood cries out to me from the earth.
Again, second time, God is trying to speak with the second generation, with Cain. And Cain is doing some sort of a denial. I don't know. It's not connected to me. It's not my problem. We don't have a normal, decent connection, discussion between man and God. Okay? Not yet. So let's continue to the third one. Okay, so the first one we saw with Adam and Eve, it didn't went well. And the second one we also saw it didn't went well. So let's see another thing, another time that God is trying to speak with someone. And it's going to Genesis number 6. We're going to Noach. Noach, it says there something very important about Noach. When God is saying in verse number 6, please read verse number 6.
And the Lord regretted that he had made man upon the earth, and he became grieved in his heart. And the Lord said, I will blot out man whom I created from upon the face of the earth, from man to cattle to creeping thing to the fowl of the heavens, for I regret that I made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord.
Okay, so who exactly here? Um, uh, Now we're going to another stage where God is trying to speak with someone. He's trying to speak with Noah, but it's only one-way ticket. Let's go. Let's look inside. Very good, very close in this verse number 8. Okay, Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord, in the eyes of God. So when God looked in his eyes in Noah, he saw something good in him. But the Midrash, our sages are saying that on the other side, God also wanted to see that he sees something in the eyes of Noah, and he never saw any tears, anything. Because when he will speak with Noah and he will say to him, look, that's it, enough is enough. And he will say to him in verse number 13, please read verse number 13, 13 and 14.
Number 13, and God said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth has become full of robbery because of them. And behold, I am destroying them from the earth. Now make for yourself an ark of gopher wood. You shall make the ark with compartments, and you shall caulk it about both inside and outside with pitch.
Now, we never saw that Noah, who knows that this world is going to come to a big destruction, a big, massive problem here. We never saw that Noah prayed or did anything that God will stop this. So again, we don't really find any real connection between man and God. God is disappointed. I will say it like that. If I will conclude it, okay, if I will go to the next thing, by Adam's reaction is fear. He was frightened. Cain's response is evasion. And Noah's reaction is apathy. Okay, indifference. He never did anything. So we see here in the beginning of those 2,000 years, and we have few people that were very righteous. You can't say that they were not. Okay, we see that about Enoch. Okay, let's find those verses about Enoch. It's in chapter 5, if I remember correctly. Just a moment. Um, Enoch was so righteous that God took him in the beginning, or after a very short time. He lived only 350 years, while all of the rest of the people around him lived for almost 1,000 years, more than 900 years. Enoch was the only one that God took him after years. Okay. And please read verses number 22, 23, 24.
And all the days of Enoch were 365 years, and Enoch walked with God, and he was no longer, for God had taken him.
We're speaking about a very righteous person. God took him. We never saw about those words except for one or two people in all of the Bible. He was very holy. Not only him, also his son Methuselah was very holy. Noah was holy. There were a few people that were really very important people, but no one gave ever answer to God for his very simple question that God asked the first Adam and Eve. Okay, he asked Adam. He asked a very simple question, and he asked him, "Where are you?" Right? You did some sort of a sin. Where are you? The only person who gave answer after more than 2,000 years was Abraham. Let's look at this inside. Okay. I'm reading from Genesis 22:1. Please, Dan, read this verse.
And it came to pass after these things that God tested Abraham, and he said to him, Abraham, and he said, Here I am.
Where are you? Here I am. The first person who is saying, Here I am. There's a very nice song of Scorpius about this word. Here I am. Will he send me an angel? I don't know if people remember this song. It's 30 years ago already, 40 years ago. The Scorpius in England, they did this. It's a very nice song, and it's saying very nicely that you have an inside confidence, that you have some sort of a spark of God, yeah, God, the image of God inside yourself. God is asking Abraham, like He's asking everybody else, who are you? Where are you? And He's saying, here I am. I'm here to your servant. What do you want from me? Even though it's also tested, it's not a very simple situation. He's going to test him. He's going to ask him to sacrifice his son Isaac after you waited for him for 100 years. It's an amazing situation. But this is exactly the situation where God is starting to speak with someone who have the ability to
Reply.
do the wrong things, not to do the right things. But Abraham is standing him and saying, "Here I am." This is the answer that he is giving. I want to read Rashi, okay, the commentator Rashi, about this specific answer. Here I am, please.
Here I am. This is the reply of the pious. It is an expression of humility and an expression of readiness.
Two things. He is ready and also humility. Two things. He's standing in front of God. From one side, it is very hard to stand in front of God. The God Almighty who created everything. If you're standing in front of Him, it's some sort of a judgment. Because after all, He can do whatever He wants to do, and you might have done bad things. It's very easy to be in the position that Adam did. Okay, was with a fear and trying to go away. But to stand with some sort of a self-esteem and to say to God, okay, I know that I'm getting everything from you and I'm ready to do whatever you want me to do. This is a new stage that we have in this world now when Abraham came here. This is something that we need to know. We need to understand what happened here. It's something that we never saw before that in this world. Okay, Abraham, he did not hide or feel ashamed as Adam after he sinned between a man and the Creator. And Abraham also did not run away from the consequences of his actions like Eve or Cain. Okay, that their sins were between man and his fellow man. Was how Abraham reacted. But the presence of Abraham is a real presence, more complete than that of Noah, who asked nothing about anyone, even though he knew that humanity is going total danger and destruction. So Abraham was in a position that he stood up and he said, "I'm taking upon myself to take this mission of bringing, I will say, the light or um, the morality side that God you're asking here in this world. This is my mission." While Noah, he was, if you will think about this, it's like putting someone inside the womb of the mother. Just like also we saw with Moses, that he was in an ark. He was a small child that only the ark can protect him. So it's the same thing. Noah is like a small child in this world that God wants very much um, that his mission, his God's mission, will apply in this world. So he have no choice. He needs to take someone that from him, Abraham will go out, okay, at the end, another 10 generations. And meanwhile, he will protect him in some sort of an ark. So his idea of to have someone that he can relate with, someone that he can speak with, someone that he can do the best, the next stage in this world that will manage to bring the world to the next level. We need to have to wait to this stage. So this is what we saw till now, and I'm concluding more or less things that we spoke about till today. We said that God have some sort of a mission in this world. He wants that there will be someone that he can be a partnership to bring this world to the holiness that we spoke, the seventh day of the holiness of the seventh day. He is looking for someone that will bring him this discussion, I will say it like that, between God and man. He is looking in Adam, he is looking in Cain, he is looking in Noah, he is looking in Methuselah, he is looking in Enoch, He's looking all over the generations. He doesn't find anyone until he's coming to the stage of Abraham. Abraham is the first one. We're saying to him, here I am, okay? Whatever you need, whatever you want me to do, I will do it, okay? Um, now, before we continue on, if there is any question, this is the time. If not, we will continue on. Yes.
Rabbi, I believe it was Genesis chapter 5, where it states that then men began to call upon the name of the Lord. Now, from what I understand from the rabbis, is that was a negative thing, and that was by the third or fourth generation listed. Then men began to call upon the name of the Lord. Now, did that not play a factor in blinding the eyes of the people even further? Because we know that Abraham, interacted with Melchizedek and others that were along the lineage of Shem. But there was organized religion going on. But I believe it's stated in Genesis chapter 5 that then men began to call upon the name of the Lord. And did that not play a role in keeping things down from that connection you're talking about between man and Hashem?
You're saying right things. It's in the chapter. It is in chapter.
I think it's 5, maybe 6.
5.
I think.
No. It's 5. It's 5. You're right. It's 5. And what we see here in chapter 5 is that we're starting to speak about the history of men, and after men we have Seth, and after Seth we have Enoch, and Enoch, as you're saying, okay. Just a moment.
I think it's further down.
No, Enoch already starting to no. So it's chapter 3, maybe chapter 3. It says very loudly. You're more than right. On the one side, when we're speaking about
maybe it's 4. After they were driven
it says
out.
You're right. Okay, when people started to
the last sentence of 4 of chapter 4, you mean then?
Yes, exactly. The last sentence of chapter 4.
Yay, Solvig!
Right. Who was this that said this?
That was Solvig in Germany.
Solvig, right. Very nice. Okay. Yes, we can see this in the last sentence of chapter 4. I've opened Rashi also because it says it's very clear. Okay, please read verse number 4.
26?
26, yes, sorry, in chapter 4.
Oh, and to Seth also, to him a son was born, and he named him Enosh. Then it became common to call by the name of the Lord. Then it became common, Rashi says, is an expression of profaneness to name people and idols with the name of the Holy One, blessed be he, to make them idols and to call them deities. And that's out of Genesis Rabbah 23:7 and Bereshia 49 method. Yeah.
And this is, yes, exactly. This is what you said, and it's true. Okay,
yes.
when we're starting to do all of this idol and to name others in the name of God, this is where everything is starting to get corrupted. But this is also because we managed to go down along the generations and get far from Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, who were created by God, and they recognize their creator. They were not so far from him. We're going down in the generation, and we're losing the connection. But even though there were still people who were very righteous, and they did a great job, but only in their own level. What is the most important thing that we need to know with Abraham? Abraham is not only that he is a righteous and he is very good. Abraham, we need to understand that he's giving another very, very important new insight in what's happening here, okay? And this new insight is being said here and you need to read the first 5 verses of when we meet Abraham in the first time. Okay, so please read
Okay.
those
And the
verses.
Lord said to Abram, go forth from your land and from your birthplace and from your father's house to the land that I will show you, and I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you, and I will aggrandize your name, and you shall be a blessing. And I will bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you I will curse, and all the families of the earth shall be blessed in you. And Abram went as the Lord had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran, and Abraham took Sarai, his wife, and Lot, his brother's son, and all their possessions that they had acquired, and the souls they had acquired in Haran. And they went to go to the land of Canaan, and they came to the land of Canaan.
Before we will explain the first 2 or 3 verses, and we will start to see the most uniqueness of Abraham, not that he was only righteous, but that there's also something else hidden there. I want to understand the verse or the wording and the source that they acquired in Haran. If someone can explain this to me, what exactly is the source that they acquired in Haran? How can you do a soul? Yes? Who have an answer?
He had converted them, yeah? He'd made them.
Well, your name is Amos, right? Yeah. He converted them. Okay, this is so. Let's see Rashi. You're right. You're more than right. I want us to read Rashi. He converted people. Okay, and the souls that they had inquired in Haran. Please read Rashi for that. Done.
Whom he had brought under the wings of the Shekinah. Abraham would convert the men, and Sarah would convert the women. And Scripture ascribes to them a merit, as if they had made them. Genesis Rabbah 39:14. Hence the expression that they made. The simple meaning of this verse is the slaves and maidservants that they had acquired for themselves, as in the verse below 31:1, he acquired with all this wealth, an expression of acquisition from Numbers 24:18, and Israel acquires, an expression of acquiring and gathering.
So we have the normal, I would say, explanation, or the simple explanation is that they had all sorts of slaves and maid servants. But the truth is that it was more than that. They brought a lot of people under the Shekhinah, so they did some sort of conversion for people, so they got very close to God. And here, the most biggest surprise that God is doing to Abraham, he's saying to him, listen, I don't want anymore that you will do conversions for people. It's very nice. You can do that. It's important to do that. But I want from you something else. Your destiny is something else. I want you to become a great nation. I want not only that you will be very holiness, that there will be a lot of people holiness next to you, around you. I want that you will build up a new nation. I must say that in the beginning, Abraham said to him, why? I don't need it. Who said that we need to become a nation? I have a proof that Abraham said this to God when Ishmael is being alive already. And then God is saying to him, but I want to give you also Isaac. So Abraham is falling down and says to God, but I have Ishmael, it's enough. And he's answering him, okay, you know that Ishmael will be, he will believe in one God, like the others, and there will be a lot of people like that. But I want a nation, a great nation, one nation. The issue of nation to become something that is a public, not something that is as a one person that is very important, okay? As we can also see in verse 17, just a moment, in chapter 17. We will see it in 2 more places, okay? In chapter 17, we'll see it in verse number 5, if I remember correctly. You can see it here that God is promising him. And I will please read verse number 2, 2, 3, and 5.
Verse 2 to 5, or 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes.
And I will place my covenant between me and between you, and I will multiply you very greatly. And Abraham fell on his face, and God spoke with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with you, and you shall become the father of a multitude of nations. And your name shall no longer be called Abram, but your name shall be Abraham, for I have made you the father of a multitude of nations. Wow,
Okay.
this is huge.
Yes, exactly. But it's also some sort of a play in the Hebrew wording. We said it's more than once. But one of the things that we need to know is that the Hebrew is very exact language, and there is a difference between when you're putting another um, letter inside this word of Avram, you're putting Avraham, another letter. It's the understanding of this is that he's multiplying also the nations, and this is what God is saying to him. I want you to be the head of a nation that will also give a lot of blessings to the other nations, to the rest of the nations. And we can see this also in one of the verses that we said in the beginning. Just a moment, let me find exactly the chapter that Abraham is saying to God, "Here I am." Okay, this chapter that Abraham is saying to God, "Here I am." No, another chapter. Just a moment. 22. Okay, where God is saying to Abraham, he's calling him Abraham, and he's saying to him, "Here I am," and he's doing some sort of a test to Abraham. He's asking him to take Isaac and to sacrifice Isaac at the end of this chapter, when God, and it's the second time, by the way, and an angel of God, called to him from heaven and said, "Abraham, Abraham," and he said, "Here I am." Again, second time that he's answering this great answer. And he's saying to him, "Don't send your hand to this kid, and you can't allow, you're not allowed to kill him or anything else, to sacrifice him." And then he's saying to him, and please read this, those three verses, 16, 17, and 18, please.
16. And he said, By myself I have sworn, says the Lord, that because you have done this thing and you did not withhold your son, your only one, that I will surely bless you, and I will greatly multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, as the stars of the heavens, and as the sand that is on the seashore, and your descendants will inherit the cities of their enemies. And through your children shall be blessed all the nations of the world, because you hearken to my voice.
Okay, so we're speaking about the blessing to the world, but it won't happen only because they are all, I will say it like that, each one of them is holiness, because it's a nation of holiness. It's a nation that is working together. And we can see that also in I will try to take two verses, okay? I will take a verse from Ishaya. Let's go to Ishaya. Ishaya number 5. Let's see for a moment something very, very. Look at this verse, and it's related also to things that we spoke about the seventh day. Please read the verse number 16.
And the Lord of hosts will be exalted in judgment, and the holy God shall be hallowed with equity.
So we're speaking about hallowed. Remember that? The seventh day is hallowed. And it's also related to the judgment. Judgment, right? This word judgment in Hebrew is mishpat. Mishpat. Remember that, because if we are going back to Abraham, let's go back to Genesis. I'm sorry for that. We're jumping a bit today, but it's very important also. Still. So let's go to Genesis. Let's see that I'm in the right place. No.
Lisette, can we get you to mute your mic?
I'm sorry?
Can we get you to mute your microphone?
Um,
There's a mute
okay.
button on bottom left.
Bottom left. You want me to mute?
Yes. Yeah, you'll still hear us.
Okay.
Now let's go back to Abraham, where God is saying to him,
In
he's telling him
17?
from 17 till 19, okay? He's going to tell him that he's going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, and he's explaining why he is speaking with Abraham. Please read the 17 till 19.
And the Lord said, shall I conceal from Abraham what I am doing? And Abraham will become a great and powerful nation, and all the nations of the world will be blessed in him. For I have known him because he commands his sons and his household after him that they should keep the way of the Lord to perform righteousness and justice, in order that the Lord bring upon Abraham that which he spoke concerning him.
So we're speaking again about this word justice in Hebrew, the word mishpat. In righteousness is also tzedakah, tzedakah v'mishpat. And those are the exact words that is being said in Ishayahu, the sentence that we read before. And it's saying that this is the holiness way. So when we're speaking about the seventh day, that we want to become to the holiness part, this is where we have a nation, not one person that is righteous, but also a nation that is working in the right way. And because of that, they are holiness enough, this nation, so they can be, I will say, the blessing for the world, not only because they are here in this world, but also because they're going to speak with the world and tell them exactly what to do and how to do those things. And this is what we also read this parsha, this Shabbat, not in Genesis, we read it, we are in Leviticus now, and we read it in chapter 20. Just a moment. This Shabbat, it's the Shabbat of the just a moment. Those are things that we read today, this week. Please read verses number 22 to 24.
22. And you shall observe all my statutes and all my ordinances and fulfill them. Then the land to which I am bringing you to dwell therein will not vomit you out. You shall not follow the practices of the nation that I am sending away from before you, for they committed all these sins, and I was disgusted with them. So I said to you, you shall possess their land, and I shall give it to you to possess it, a land flowing with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, who has distinguished you from the peoples.
We're speaking about a nation that have more responsibilities to do. We spoke about this already with Cain and Abel, that Abel, because he didn't do his mission of educating Cain, he got very hard punishment. So we have much more, I will say, responsibilities and much more things that we're supposed to do. But this is the way that we are bringing the holiness not only to us as a nation, but also for all of the people around here. And this is what we spoke also before, that this is giving the blessings. So, and this is one of the most important things. So if the first thing that we spoke about, that God is looking for whom he can speak with, and he didn't find it, not in Adam, not in Cain, not in Noach, not in Methuselah, not in Enoch, not in all of those people that were very righteous. Then we see Abraham, he managed to speak, God is managing to speak with Abraham. And the next level is not only that he is speaking with Abraham, but it's also some sort of a real presence, okay, more complete. And it's also, the next one, the main novelty of our Abraham is the publicity, okay, a whole nation that does the word of God in our world in reality, brings the words of God to reality in our world. And this is one of also the foundation that we have, or that we need to understand, that is happening when we are learning the Bible. This is why the Bible is going after 12 chapters. It's not speaking about everything. So we started that everybody had, I will say, all of the world were created by God, by Adam, and also Eve was created from Adam. So we will all be able to become one family back after everything. But there is some sort of a way that God, when he wants to bring the world to a place where he can speak with someone that have free will, but on the other side will manage to fulfill his dream, God's dream, that he will have a relationship with someone here. He, at the end of the days, he found it in Abraham, and he decided to create him as a new nation. And this nation is bringing the blessing to the world. And this is what we are learning in the Bible. Till here, if someone have any questions, this is the time. If not, we'll continue another stage. Yes. Everything is clear. No one have any questions. I really managed to knock everybody down. It's okay. Okay. So we'll continue on, and I will go back. Let me share the screen for a moment, and I will speak about four important, points that are inside this nation, and with this, they are managing to fulfill what God is asking us to do. And this is a slide that we already saw once, okay? One of the basic rules that we are speaking about is the components of the divine interest in this world. And this is coming with four different points that together bringing this interest of God in this world. And the first one is the prophecy. Second one is the eternity, the morality, the fraternity ability. Okay, those are the four things that we are speaking about now. We showed that already, and by this we are concluding the main, I will say, foundations. From now on, we will manage to go inside and to learn all sorts of ideas inside the Bible. But let's finish with those four. The first one is the thing that is related to the prophecy. What exactly is prophecy? We don't know here. Okay, it's some sort of another dimension that is in this world. The only example that I can show that it's related when you're taking someone who have only 2 dimension, who is living in one place, and someone else who have 3 dimension and can see things from above. The one from the 2 dimension who doesn't have any above, okay, he have only backwards and forward and right and left. For him, the one that have or can see the 3rd dimension, another dimension, is some sort of alien. He sees things that nobody can see.
I'm cold, right? Are you cold? Right?
Okay.
I didn't hear you.
It is cold.
Who is a...
Oh,
Okay.
Reinhold, can we get you to mute your mic? Maybe yourself too, Trevor.
Okay, so this is a prophecy. The prophecy we don't have now. There is a very big difference, and it's also related a bit to the things that we read till now. Okay, in all of the other nations, when we're speaking about something that's very holy or very to have some sort of a connection with the holiness, we're speaking about trance. We're speaking about falling down, about having all sorts of, I would say, in the Muslim world, they are lying on their knees. In the Christian world, we're speaking about sitting down, in front of God. In the Hebrew nation, when you're praying, you're standing still like the angels, and you're trying also to get to your inside spark of God that is inside you, because we are all in the image of God. So this is the way that you're also praying. It's not something that is related or going to inside some sort of a trances or something like that. we have a very quiet inside listening. And this is a bit related to the prophecy. We don't have this prophecy in the last 2,400 years. Hopefully it will return back. But this is one of the things that God had here for a very long time, for more than 1,200 years. And the Hebrew nation had more than 600,000 prophecies, people around the nation, along the history. Yes, exactly. I'm right with the numbers. This is what it's written down in the Babylon Talmud. More than 600,000 people along the 1,200 years. Only part of this stayed with us.
Famous Anthony Hopkins. 2 FBI agents enlist the help of a clairvoyant doctor.
Reinhold, please turn your microphone off. We cannot continue the class with you. Bottom left, you'll have a mute.
Where is that?
On the bottom left of your screen, you'll have a mute button for video and a mute button for your speaker.
I closed him. It's okay. I closed him. So this is the first thing. The second thing, and again, I'm saying again that it's supposed to be clear. At the beginning, this thing of prophecy was moving on between father and son. It wasn't only in the Hebrew nation. The Hebrew nation wasn't there yet. Okay, the Hebrew nation starts with Abraham. So it started with Adam, and then it was in Enoch, and then it was with Sheth, and Enoch, and Noach, and Methuselah. We're speaking about few people that had this prophecy without the Hebrew nation. At the end of the days, it stayed only in the Hebrew nation, but it was in the beginning for everybody. So it's what we're speaking about, what we're saying here, that everybody have the possibility, every person have the possibility of becoming on this level of the prophecy, and also today, and it's written down in a lot of places. So again, it's related to the Hebrew nation today, but this is the first thing. The second thing that we're speaking about, I'm going to do the share again, sorry. The second thing that we're speaking about is the thing of the eternity. Eternity in Hebrew is Netzach. Netzach, we don't have Netzach today. He's not with us, I don't know why. Netzach have two meanings in the Hebrew language. The first one is when we're speaking about the time schedule, Netzach is by managing always to stay in this world. Now we have Arnold Toynbee, I think his name. He was a very great philosopher in Canada, a Canadian great philosopher in the last 70 years ago, and he did a very, very big research about all of the nations that we had in this world. We had the old Greeks, we had the old Egyptians, we had the old Romans. He's doing a research about 19 old great nations that were here in this world. And he's saying that all of them had some sort of a cycle of life. They started from some point, they came to be the greatest in this world, and then they fell down and they vanished along history. Except for one nation that it doesn't have any explanation how it's working. The Hebrew nation. The Hebrew nation is running along history till today. He's saying it, 70 years ago when we only started to build up the redemption of the Hebrew nation back in Israel. But he says, I don't understand that. But this is part of the eternity on one side of it. Okay, along history, you see that we are staying here. But it's also the word of managing to, when you have a fight, someone is winning. The word winning in a fight is also some sort of the word eternity in Hebrew, Netzach. And the understanding of this, that the mindset that the Hebrew nation have will manage to win at the end of the days all the mindset that we have in this world. As we can see also today in a lot of people that are joining or starting to understand. I think that we spoke about this something like 2 or 3 meetings ago when I asked all of you what what did you find in this Noahide movement? And most of you said to me, we are looking for the truth, and we find it here. And this is some sort of how the mindset of the Hebrew nation at the end of days is managing. So this is the eternity of this understanding. It's related to the divine code that is inside here. Okay, the divine interest that God have in this world. This is, we need to understand that it's not a mistaken thing. God, since God is eternity, so His ideas at the end of days will manage to overrule or to become the main thing that we'll have for everybody here in this world. So this is the second thing of His divine interest in this world. Because, okay, the third thing is the morality, okay, the thing of morality. We have a lot of people, or a lot of, and this is something that I will explain not next time, because next time we don't have time. So I will do something that I already learned with Dan next week, and we'll do this another 2 weeks from now. But we have a lot of people along history, a lot of nations, a lot of groups that are almost very close to the morality codes of the Hebrew nation, but they're only close. They are not really the right morality, or they're not showing, or they're not, they don't have the main morality. They are just similar, but similar not enough. I will give the example of Lot that we spoke before, that is going with Abraham. And in one of the sentences, it says, Abraham is saying, we are brothers, we are similar, we are brothers. But at the end of the days, we know that Lot was going away from Abraham, even though at the end of the days, one of his daughters, okay, his grandchildren will become back to the Hebrew nation through David, King David, with a, I won't go into this too much, but Lot was not the right morality, okay? He was only a similar morality. And we see this along history, and I will explain this in a much more profound way. I will show this in all of the Genesis story, that we will see along history that there are a lot of who are trying, a lot of people, nations, I don't know how to say this, because groups that are trying to take or to show the divine interest morality in this world, but it's only a similar thing, but not the exact thing. This is why they are, at the end of the days, moving aside, and the Hebrew nation, the Abraham descendant is staying with us. And the last thing, okay, and that we're speaking about is a fertility ability. What I'm speaking about, and I will say this in a few words, so we'll manage to conclude this lesson of today. If we are looking, since Cain and Abel, we have two brothers who are trying to live together. And what's happening? One is killing the other one. So let's go another few generations. We have Abraham and Lot. And again, Abraham and Lot are together. They are similar, they are like brothers, but they're starting a fight. And then Abraham is saying to him, why are there supposed to be a fight between us? Please go, to the other side of the world, and I will go to the other side of the world. I don't want that there will be a fight between us. So we're not managing really to bring those two together. So let's go another generation. The next generation is Isaac and Ishmael. Isaac and Ishmael also have fights. So Sarah is sending Ishmael out so he won't bother Isaac to grow up in the right way. So we did manage to bring them together. So let's go to the next generation. The next generation is even more harder generation. We have Esau and Jacob. And there we have also a verse where Esau is saying, the days of my father will come very soon, and I will kill Jacob. So Jacob's supposed to run away. And after 22 years, they're coming together, and they're not managing together. So one is going to another land, and Jacob is staying in Israel land. Okay, so let's go to the next generation. The next generation, we have 4 people that are saying that they are the most important people, but mainly Judah and Joseph. And they are fighting. In the beginning of this story, Joseph and his brothers are throwing, Judah and his brothers are throwing Joseph inside the hole, and then they're selling him to Egypt, and then they're regretting it. And when they're regretting it and they're finding him in Egypt and they're finding one each other, Joseph is saying to them, listen, we are brothers. Maybe you thought in the beginning to harm me, but God thought that it's going to be so we will manage to live. And this is where we can close the Genesis story and where we can start a full redemption to the Hebrew nation, where Aaron and Moses, two brothers, meeting one each other, and Aaron, who is the oldest one, remember Cain was the oldest one from Abel, right. Aaron, who is the oldest one, is accepting that Moses will lead the nation and Aaron will be his servant. This is where we can bring the redemption, because the Hebrew nation is managing to bring redemption to the fraternity ability, what we lost from Adam and Cain, from Cain and Abel. Since Cain and Abel, we are waiting that there will be brothers who will manage to live together in a full, completely way, because this is the way of this is one of the things of the Hebrew nation. We can see it till today, okay? The coronavirus. I don't know if there is any other nation who sent out airplanes all over the world to collect all the Hebrew people back to Israel, so, be back home. Let's deal with this inside here. But we managed to send airplanes all over the world. But it's not only them. We all remember the Entebbe thing in 1977, where there was a kidnapped of an airplane, and the Hebrew nation sent to Nairobi, very far from us, 4,000 kilometers out from Israel, a troop of the Hebrew people, of the Israeli Defense Force, IDF, to bring those people back. So the Hebrew nation, with this fraternity ability of togetherness all along history, but especially in those days, this is one of the things that we are trying to teach the world, how we can live together and not with fights all the time to kill one each other. So those are the 4 points of, I will say, the divine interest in this world that he's showing through Abraham's descendant, that he built up a new nation that have those 4 points that are long history all the time and never finishing. This is more or less, if we're trying to understand I will say, one of the most important points, how we're looking at the Bible. It's some sort of a whole part of looking at the Bible, and we will go inside, we will dive inside. Okay, next week, for example, we're going to speak about, and we spoke about this done already, so you know that, we're going to speak about the tree of life and the tree of knowledge. So, and this is, I know that it's a mind-blowing also, this lesson. It's a different one, but we're going to explain this. What is the tree of life? What is the tree of knowledge? And what's really happening there in this conversation, in this scene that is happening there. So this is what we're going to speak. But now we're starting to see how the Hebrew nation is looking in the right way, or in the right way of the Hebrew nation, how they look in this world, in this history, and what exactly God is asking us to do to bring this place to a holy place, to fulfill the 7th day, how to bring the 7th day to the end, so God will manage to say, and it was dark, it was a day, it was light, it was night, it was day, and we finish the 7th day, and we can conclude, and we can go to the 8th day. Questions, people? Yes, I'm listening.
Well, Rabbi, I've heard you speak about the 8th day, and and it's just some beautiful stuff. But today, I think you helped us understand some eyesight to see with, and how the Hebrew people have viewed it over the millennia, and these 4 key points of prophecy, eternity, morality, and fraternity ability. I don't think, especially those here in the West that have come out of other religions, the concept of prophecy has been one that has been distorted. And, the difference between sorcery or soothsaying, could you elaborate and just, what do you know about the ability of prophecy versus, say, a sorcerer, somebody who, looks at incantations or a crystal ball, things that we know are flat out wrong. What's the clear line there between the two? What makes one a prophet? Like you say, the Hebrew nation had over 600,000 prophets that you mentioned, even though we only know of so many. But these 70 nations, there have been just littered. I mean, even in the newspapers today, you still have astrology columns and all kinds of terrible, terrible things that, how do we know where it's make-believe and where it's real? I know that what you're talking about over a long period of time clarifies it, but.
So here it's an opportunity again to mention the Brit Shalom. I'm saying also, I'll say why I'm mentioning it. First of all, we managed yesterday, we finished all the last proof, and tomorrow morning, hopefully, we're going to finalize it and to send it to print it out, so people will manage also to buy hard copy of the Brit Shalom. Why I'm mentioning the Brit Shalom? Because this is one of the foundation, and this is also why you're all getting another few days in this, that you're managing also to go inside to this version that we have on the internet that I gave you all to see. But in Brit Shalom, one of the things that we're doing, we're giving also the foundations. And one of the foundations is this thing of the prophecy. Today, we don't have prophecy. We do have some sort of people who have all sorts of connections with all sorts of spiritual things that are happening in this world. Now, you can't ignore that. You can't say that there are not any spiritual things in this world, okay? The most simplest way to show that is that if I will ask all of you today, in your room, can you see the wave of the television? You will answer me, no, there's no waves. But I will bring the television, the TV, and I will put it inside, and we'll give also the antenna of the television, and suddenly we'll see all sorts of things at the inside, but when you're looking, you don't see that. So you know that there are more things here in this world that we can't see. Part of them is also all sorts of spiritual things. But the spiritual things that we have today, since God decided to be silent in the last 24 centuries, so it's not the Holy Spirit, but not in the words of the Christian world. Nobody can hear us. No, it's only in this room. It's not in the Holy Spirit, like the Christian people are saying. It's the Holy God words. God decided to be silent. It's very hard, but this is what He decided. So there are all sorts of the other side of the Holy God's Spirit here. Okay, where, for example, I will say it like that. If we'll take some sort of analogy, I will say like someone, let's say for the example, the teacher of the class, when he is very angry and he's saying to everybody, look, I don't care now. I'm going to go out from the room and I'm not going to see what you're going to do. Do whatever you want to do. And he's going out. He's not going out. Before he's going out, he's standing in the door with the back to the kids. And I will tell you the truth, I was a teacher for 30 years. We don't have any eyes in our back, okay? It's only, we don't have. So when he, with the back to the students, it's not that he's looking at them, that's it. This is the position that God is with us today. It says in the Bible, okay, I can find it if you want any moment, okay, that God he's outside the room and he's looking from time to time, in behind the small holes to see what's happening, but we don't see him. So all of those things that you're speaking about, those are things that are happening because there are some sort of holy things, not holy, sorry, spiritual things here in this world. But this is what exactly we're explaining in the Brit Shalom. When someone will say that he is a prophet, there is a way to judge it. he will need to come to the Hebrew rabbis, and they will do to him tests. And then we will know if he is a prophet or not. I can tell you that today, most of the people that are saying that they are prophets supposed to sit down in a crazy place. People that are a bit dumb, that we're closing them up in some sort of a place, because we don't have prophecy today, unfortunately, but we don't have. So there are all sorts, how do you say it, Abba, how do you say it in English? רוח הטומאה. איך אומרים רוח טומאה באנגלית? I can't hear him again.
Something like an unclean spirit, something like that.
And even less than that. It's not an unclean spirit, but even less than that. It's some sort of the spirit of the evil, okay, something like that. And there are things like that, but it's not prophecy. It's not.
Rabbi?
Yes.
It's Paul.
Yes, Paul. How are you doing? Yes, good to see you.
Good. I want to thank you for your service, Rabbi. Thank you so much.
Not a problem.
And I can't wait till the Brit Shalom comes out so I can order my copy.
Okay.
I do have a question. A lot of people talk about dreams, that they have dreams, and these dreams, they have meaning to them. Is this part of what you just mentioned right now?
Okay, now you're going inside to something very, very unique, and it's a very good question. Thank you very much for that, Paul. I think we spoke about this done already. No, I will remind you. Okay, the beginning of the Kuzari, starting with the dream. Remember that? The dream. This is the first part of, or the first beginning of the step that is speaking about prophecy, okay? To start with the prophecy, it starts with the dream. And we can see this also with Joseph, that he was a dreamer, Joseph. And then it's like a conjunction, He was in the hole there with the servants of Pharaoh, and they started to dream. And then they went next to Pharaoh. One of them went next to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh started to dream. Now, the dream, I met the dream in the last 4 years. I'm meeting dreams, you won't even imagine how much. I'm speaking about high rank bishops around the world, not one, not two, more than that left all of Christianity because of dreams that they had. I'm speaking about few people, not one. And they sneaked inside to the hotel where I was, because they didn't want anyone to see that they're speaking with the rabbi, and they started to say to me all the dreams. Now, usually dreams have some sort of explanations, but not, I will say it like that. It's a very wise situation that we need to discuss for each situation. Some of the dreams are right dreams. When I hear, 6 different people that are speaking about a dream that they had, more or less in the same month, more than once, the same dream all the time, that's saying to them in all sorts of versions, I want to go inside too much. Leave Christianity, go and learn from the Jewish people what exactly is the truth. And we're speaking about the high-ranked people. I'm not speaking about someone that just learned few years. I'm speaking about people that are holding high positions in the Christian world, in Africa, in Europe, in India. People are holding, and 6 people of them are dreaming more or less some sort of a same connection, same dream that is driving them out from Christianity. And all of them, it's in the same, more or less, same half of the year, and they're dreaming it, once, twice, and 3 times. So it's probably, it is a bit more in a high level than just bad spirit in this world. Some of the years starting to move, and all of this happened in the last 7-8 years. And so something here is moving, But again, dream is the first thing that is a bit different. And it's also related to the insight. It's not using all sorts of crystals, all sorts of bones, all sorts of other things. It is using the insight that you have inside yourself. This is where it's starting to speak about more connection with God. After all, don't forget that we are all in the image of God, and we have an inside source that is a very powerful thing. The self-esteem and the not connection, the self-esteem, let's start with the self-esteem that you have inside yourself is a very powerful one. And when you're clean inside, it's very easy to listen to that self-esteem that you have inside, because it's part of the inside spark that is connected with God. And this is a dream. Again, it's a very big difference. You're not using all sorts of outside things to bring yourself to a spiritual situation and connection. So it's a good question, Paul. Thank you very much for that. Okay,
Thank you,
more
Rabbi.
questions.
Thank you.
Not a problem. You're welcome.
Anyone else got a question for Rabbi?
Hey, Rabbi.
Daniel, yeah, it's good to see you. What's happening there? I've heard that in Bogota, everything is very hard with this corona. Everything is okay.
Well, yeah, we're doing pretty good, thanks to God. I mean, pretty sure like everyone else in the world, like going through almost the same thing. So it's not such a big difference. So yeah, thanks for asking. It's always good to see you, Rabbi. No. It's a technical question. I tried to get in the link of Brit Shalom, the one that you shared, and it has not worked for me. Like I've tried to go to like several times and it's not working.
In a moment, I will give it again. I will give it again here, and I'm giving another week because I must close it another week from now, but I will give it again now. I'm putting it here, and just a moment. Let me go inside.
Yeah, every time I try to get to the link, it says like the page not found or something like that.
Let me find it here for a moment. No, it's not here. No. Okay, you all see that. And Daniel, I will send it to you. I'm sorry. I can't find it on the spot. I will send it to you. Okay.
Yes, thank you. No problem. Yeah, Rabbi, thank you very much.
You know what? Let me try for a moment. Okay, Dan, let me stop.
I can pull it up, Rabbi, if you really need me to.
You don't have the share. You can pull it out. Remember where it is.
Rabbi, I had the same problem also.
So let's find it in a moment. I will find it and.
While you're looking, if you don't mind.
Maybe you have it. Do you have it, Pesach? Do you have it?
No, I don't have it right in front of me, and I was looking for it. But I just want to remind people tonight at 10 o'clock. Tonight at 10 o'clock, you can go to my Facebook page, B'nai Noach Connection with Israel. We're going to open up a Zoom room. If anybody has questions, comments, anything, it's 10 o'clock USA time, Eastern Daylight Time. And back here with Dan on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we'll be having a discussion then too. So I just want to remind everybody about that.
Dan, can you find it?
You know what? It's not working for me at the moment as well either, Rabbi.
Yeah.
Let's see how to go inside. Brit Shalom.
Timothy just shared
No.
the
We're
link
going
again
to.
and it's not working
No.
either.
I will share the right link. Just a moment. Let me find it exactly because it's not in front of me. It's my son took my computer and he managed to. He managed to close up a lot of things that I did.
Yeah, Rabbi. It's not live anymore on my email link. I've shared this a few times, like with Angelica there in Vancouver, and yeah, I can. It's a dead link. Oh,
No. Just a moment. I will find it. Just a moment. Just a moment. Let me find. I will find it. Give me a moment and I'll find it.
I have so many of them. Yes.
I will manage.
Now, Rabbi, do we have to get off for another class here at the No Wide World Center?
We have another few minutes. It's okay.
So when is a Brit Shalom going to be available?
That's what he's saying. Soon, another week or two, in paperback.
I hope so. I hope so. I'm working on this. Working very hard on this. Yes, maybe here it is. Maybe here it is. I will save this also on the side so next time I won't have it. Oh, here it is. People, we found it. The moment we found everything. Yay.
Baruch Hashem.
Found everything. Yes.
It's easy reading, folks. It's thorough yet digestible is the only way I can describe the Brit Shalom book. It's not like these massive works that pound the brain where you've got to pull out dictionaries to understand the words. It's put together in real day-to-day walking, living, breathing terms, and it's not overbearing. It's straightforward, clean. I think Rabbi Hirki's done a wonderful, wonderful job with it.
Okay, now listen, everybody. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put this on the chat. Please do not to everybody. Just a moment. To everyone meeting. Here it is. Now look. Now look good. Okay, I put it here. Now, please, when you copy this, this is an opportunity to copy it. When you're going inside, it will ask you to put inside your email. Okay, when you try to go inside to one of the, to see inside the exact wording, it will ask you to put your username and password. And if you didn't put it yet, so underneath the login, there is a line that it's written down there, register a new account here. So, register a new account and put your name and everything else, and you will find it. You will manage to go inside. Everything is working well. Everything is working well there.
Beautiful.
In this thing. You saw it? Everybody saw it? I'll give you another week. You can find it inside. Okay?
Yeah, I kind of got into the website, but I just can't find where to put my account. And
underneath the button, okay, that you have let me find it again. Underneath the button that is asking you, to open whatever it is, okay? Open one of them. Doesn't matter what it is. Just a moment. Not in the right one. It's saying
it starts on the right
username
side.
And password, and then you have login. You see the button login? Underneath it, there's a small line. Register a new account here. You see this? Small line, register a new account here. You see this, Daniel?
Well, I'm on my phone, so I don't know if
It shows
page
also
10.
also on the phone. Underneath
Okay.
the button of the login, you have also a possibility to register in your account. So feel comfortable. You will find it there. Everything will be okay. If not, send me an email and
Yeah,
we'll solve the
definitely,
problem.
definitely.
Okay?
Yeah, it does show up, Rabbi, all over the website. So yeah, the link you just provided is working here.
Yes. Okay, so we have an opportunity. I'm giving it in open another week, but again, next week I have an order to close it up, and we bring it differently. And we have also few, I will say, few good surprises with this ritual to continue on. Okay.
So we're good, Rabbi? Now, folks, I will not be available next week. I have to go down to the Vancouver area and take an exam. So I am booked all next weekend. So Saturday and Sunday for me are no broadcast. So I'm hoping that Rabbi will work it out some way, shape, or form.
We will, and you can, if you will manage also to go inside through your phone, it will be good to see you. But whatever it is with you, and good luck with your exams. It was great seeing all of you. Thank you very much, and have blessing from Jerusalem and a lot of healthy life. Leave the corona aside. And Tony, also, I saw what you sent me. We will reply and we will speak about this also.